Hey folks, how y'all doing today? Jaime of JLD Instinctive Archery here on the Wingman 115 channel, coming at you with another video. This time we're doing another gear dump, so stay with me. Hello folks, thanks for joining us today. So today I'm kind of doing like a part two of a gear dump that I had done a couple weeks back, and that was on my canteen survival kit here that you can see from Self-Reliance Outfitters. I'm sure John will leave a link on the description for that video so y'all can look at that, because this is my going out to the woods for a walk. It could be for a couple hours or an all-day affair kind of a thing. Now this is pretty much all I need, and in that video I talk about what's in here. What I carry in here is if things kind of go bad, you know, if I end up having to stay the night, or just, you know, just a simple emergency stuff, nothing too crazy. But if that's all I got, I'm going to be in good shape. It is revolved around the water because that's my primary concern. And you did see I got a couple of cutting tools, a very extensive first aid kit, and then more accoutrement. So watch that video if you want to know what's all in there. Now, if I'm going out and I know I'm going to plan a full, it's not just walking around. We're going to get to a spot where we're kind of going to set up a little camp, cook a meal, or it may possibly go into a one-nighter purposefully. Then that's where my day ruck comes in. If I know I'm going to stay the night, I'm probably going to have a sleeping bag on the bottom of it. So I'll tell you that right now. But if for whatever reason weather turns, or just fill in the blank, I can easily do an overnighter in this and be a lot more comfortable than if I just had that survival canteen setup. So we're going to kind of just do a quick gear dump. There's really nothing new here. So if there's any newbies out there, maybe it'll kind of bring to light and say, hey, you know what, that's a good idea, let me throw that in there. Since that last video, I've actually upgraded a couple things that I commented on at the end of it on that survival canteen kit. But we're going to focus on this bad boy right here, and we're going to get into that right now. Okay guys, so kind of like how I mentioned, this is nothing new in regard to the equipment. This is it's a great piece of kit. This was actually a gift from Wingman over to me. This is the Hidden Woodsmen Day Ruck, and actually Malcolm commented on one of my Instagram pictures of this. This is one of the original prototypes, or not prototypes, but the originals that came out. They have since modified. One of the things that this does not have is the handy dandy sleeve for an axe, but that's okay. I throw my hatchet in here. But I love this thing. This is great. Part of this, I used to carry a bigger pack if I needed it, but John noticed that, hey, you know, you probably use something smaller. And I'm like, and I was like, I don't think I need it, but guess what? Now I love this thing. So depending on what I'm doing, if I'm going hunting, I'll kind of gut some things out and refill. But what is in here is, again, for like a day trip, and also there's some overnight survival stuff to make things a little bit more comfortable if that were the case. So one of the things that I did modify on the pack itself originally, this pack did come with its own little Velcro straps to keep all the straps on the shoulder pads from flopping around. But I've also added, so you can see the black ones, I've added one here that's for the chest strap, and also for the flap, the compartment flap to come down. So I just want to tidy things up, and these little straps came from different compass wrist attachments, actually from this guy Coghlan's. Just kind of a cheapie, but I never used them. But guess what? Boom! You know how they say, don't throw everything away. I'm not a hoarder, but there's those little things that come in handy. So perfect just to keep things tidy. So just to kind of keep things from flopping around, having too many straps. In other videos and photos of this pack, you would see that these are stringing along. Helps keep things tidy. Another thing that's out here, and it's just more for my own purposes and desires, my little blood, it's keychain with my blood type on there. I'm just a big firm believer in always having my blood type on my gear. It's a crossover from the military days. Hopefully that'll never be needed, but if it's there, if I do need it. The Hidden Woodsman patch, that was another gift from Wingman. Looks great on there. So that's it for the outside. Let's get into the nitty gritty. So opening it up, popping over, the first thing, because through my experience, the very first thing that I'm always grabbing, my binos. Not the best, but not the cheapest. Some Bushnell, these are the Permafocus. They're great. They break them out. They kind of focus automatically. The downside is I cannot focus them myself, but so far they've worked great for both my hunting needs and my outdoor needs. So that's always in the front. If I am going out for just a hike, a day hike, I'll pull this out of the pack back at the house and take that Canteen Survival Kit. So you'll see binos on me with my water, and that's for a good day of hiking. That way I'm not taking this if I don't think I need it. But it stays in the pack if I need it. So I'm going to set that down. A little rag, sweat, or cleaning the hands. That comes in handy for who knows how many things. Work gloves, as soon as we get out to wherever we're going, campsite, got a little D-ring on there. That goes on my hip belt. And actually I just took them off my belt loop to throw them in here for the purpose of this video. So there's that. My good old knife sharpening kit. Now I did a video on what the contents are in this field kit. It stays in the bag when I go outdoors, but if I'm going on a work trip or if I'm going to someone's house that I know that they might need some knives sharpened up, I can just grab it and go with it. Now I did an extensive video on this, so check out in the description box below. You'll see the link to this guy if you want to know what it is that I roll with in here. But love this thing. Okay, scrim scarf or sniper veil. So you guys should know what this is, or probably will know what this is. I just got it all wrapped up nice and neat in here, but works great for cold weather, also for sweat. If I'm hunting, throw it over. So sniper veil, scrim scarf, go online, see photos of it, works great. Some are in a more camouflage type pattern, but I found this earth tone works great in a lot of environments. So we might throw a picture of that with me out in the field with it. We got one, squirrel hunting. Headlamp, simple headlamp. What I like about this one is I can go from red to white light very easily instead of having to hit the button multiple times to get to where you want. So very simple. I forgot, it could have been a Walmart purchase. I don't put these on my head, I wear them around my neck, because the last thing I want is when I'm talking to people and they got headlamps on is they turn to me and they're showing that. So for me, I put them around my neck and I can angle them in whatever way I want. So if I turn to look at someone, that light's shining down towards my hands or wherever, and I'm not blinding someone. So there's a little headlamp tip. Don't put it around your head, put it around your neck if you're at a campsite or whatever works. Life straw, you guys know what this is. If you don't, you can drink out of a source of water that you're not too sure of. So life straw works great. Brand new piece of kit right here. Good old silky saw. This is the F180, F180. I got a Baco Laplander on my Canteen kit, but you know, 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
We'll have to do a shootout maybe on another video of those two.
Yes, between the Baco, and this is nothing new. I know that there's been videos when I was looking to invest on a silky, I found out that, you know, there's the almost like a Colt, Bushcrafter Colt. That's this one, but it seems like silky. I mean, probably 99.9% of everyone's going to say like silky all the way. Either way, they're great. They're great saws. I already have one on the kit. Do I really need another one? No, but I know I've had one kind of fail. I was using one out in Texas. It was my cousin's. He was cutting through some cedar, so I kind of owe him one, maybe. But because I know, you know, through my extreme use, I kind of I caused the locking mechanism to fail. Whatever. I mean, it's still fine. It's a great saw. So nobody freak out on me. But I wanted to not say upgrade, but just add to the collection. So the F180, it's probably one of their less expensive. It's lightweight, packs in easy. So enough of that. But yeah, maybe we'll do a review. Mr. Wingman 115 has done a review on this on his channel. You can do a link, the Condor Pterosaur. So another new piece of kit. I don't want to look like I got a bunch of new shiny stuff. I do spend a lot of time in the woods, but this is more just because just to have it as a backup blade, to have it in there. It's more on the bushcrafty side of things, obviously with that Scandi grind. I do have this set up.
I got a video on the channel on that one too.
Yes, John, please put a link for that. But the one thing two things that I did that I thought were vital, because in me looking to invest and purchase this knife, one of the first things that I heard people kind of complain about is that when they go to extract it, if you got it in there seated in well, it's a little challenging to pull it out. And I discovered that for myself as well. And you don't have a lot of real estate to grab onto. You got your middle and ring finger and you're trying to pull on it. So I did this, I believe it's called a circular weave. Again, another online search on YouTube will find it. So it gives me a little bit more real estate in purchase. So I get in there and I'm already struggling and pop that out. And then I did do a knife safety video where it's don't pull the knife out of the sheath, remove the sheath off the knife. So that way you're not swinging a blade. So put that link in the description. Also, if you notice, I do have it with a neck lanyard. So get in camp, just throw it around the neck. Thank you to Doug Wilson of Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. He gave me this cool little breakaway in case a alligator chomps down on it and I can break away, a la Crocodile Dundee. Just kidding. So anyways, enough of that. So the 2 mods neck with a breakaway, neck lanyard, and added this extra piece of real estate on that. So new piece of kit, whatever. Everybody knows what that is. All right, emergency space blanket. Now in my video talking about the canteen survival kit, I said I didn't have one in there. I went and got one. It's one of those cheaper, flimsy ones, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need and not have it. Here's a little bit more robust. Purchased at our local Army Navy surplus store. Now most of the bulk and the weight, well, 2 things that add a lot of bulk and weight, but it's good bulk and weight. Another gift from Wingman. It's good having a YouTuber that's a gear reviewer because I've gotten such great stuff from the guy. So he gave me this awesome poncho that works as a tarp. I've used it as a tarp at one of our archery camps, and we'll throw a picture as I'm talking, and it worked great. So it went over my bedding, which was old Army fart sack on an old Army cot. And this worked great, just to kind of keep debris, ticks, whatever. But it's here as a poncho. Whereas canteen survival kit, I have a trash bag in the event. But boom, here it is. So shelter, tarp, rain gear. To go along with that, now these are, again, a little on the newer side, just some cheap aluminum stakes. So you guys know how those work. Otherwise, I did have to whittle out a stake last time we did the camping on that. Now here's a piece of kit that I've had for years, since I was a kid. And I actually bought a book to go along with it. It's an old Army hammock. Old Army hammock. And I bought a great book written by Green Beret. And it was Everyone's Hammock Bible. He also wrote Everyone's Knife Bible. These books were done up in the 80s and early 90s.
Do you think it's still in print?
It could be, and I think
Look for it, and if it
yeah,
is, we'll
maybe Palladian, I'm not sure, but if you were to put in Everyone's Knife Bible and look at that author's name and then Everyone's Hammock Bible, I believe, the multiple uses of this. So obviously besides a hammock, also as a rope, as a camo net, because this is the old netting type, not a fabric. So I'm a fan of these for warm weather, like what we're getting into. Multiple uses. So I keep that in here. I've had this for a long time. I've used it a lot of times. Here in California, we got a kind of a weird rule. Is it the state parks that say we cannot tie things onto trees or secure things? So, but whatever. I still pack it. Yeah, again, a lot of uses for that hammock. It's a small one-man hammock, but it works. So that adds a lot of bulk and weight. Again, for a survival situation, I got this little bivy sack kind of a thing. I haven't really broken it out, but it's one of those things. You get into this giant mummy bag kind of a thing, and it's a bright color. So if things go really bad, and got a little whistle here, you know, kind of a cheapy purchase, but a little added extra insurance.
Between that and the rain gear, you could
stay
pretty warm.
Yeah, if things got really bad, we got caught in some crazy storm. I mean, this is what you want. And I got that space blanket. Okay, keep on going here. So still staying on the topic of shelter and warmth. Probably adds, again, bulk. This is a small wool blanket. It's probably something that they would give you on an airplane. And I can't even tell you where I got it, but it's great for either lining the hammock or just throwing it on yourself. So it's not, you know, something that big, but it's small enough where it fits at the bottom of this pack. It adds a little bit of bulk, but those that know the value of wool can't go wrong. So again, more of a you know, short-term thing. Because if I knew I was doing an overnighter, I'd have a sleeping bag. But it's nice to have this, throw it on the ground, sit on it. You guys know where I'm going with that. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of bugs and flies out here. I got this old military head net, and it'll fit over this floppy cap. And you can see how wide that stretches on both ends. So if flies were really bad and I was just out here farting around without not being on the camera, then this would probably be on my head. Always like to have a little bit of camo netting, just I've always had for a kid. You never know, whether for yourself or for gear. Just, you know, sentimental value on that one. Now we're getting into my mess kit. Now this is one of the more important things that I'll be using on we're getting to a campsite and we're going to do some cooking. So a small cutting board, just a simple stainless steel plate picked up at an Army surplus store. There's some utensils, so it's not a spork, but I got knife, fork, spoon. Again, little cheapies, little greeny weenie pad to clean stuff up. I will cycle through the bags, after, they get X amount of use, but it's just a great mess kit for this pack. So that's in there.
You cook sausages on that on your stove.
Yeah, there's a couple videos where I throw it on this little bush pot here, or bush box. Not the bush box, but it's just a little cheapie that I purchased. So that's in there. Now, again, if you watched my canteen survival kit thing, I have the Firebox Nano in there. Shouldn't have pulled this out. The Firebox Nano does probably 90% of my cooking, but if I'm at a campsite and we need more than one stove, then this guy works really well. It's a much bigger platform for a fire. I forgot the brand, but it was just kind of an inexpensive brand. Map of the areas that we typically haunt, the Mount Laguna recreational area. There's probably better maps, but this helps a lot to find out where we are, so always have that with you. I do carry a compass in that other kit, so you won't see one on here, but I do carry a compass. And another thing with a lot of weight, but it's good weight, the good old Estwing hatchet. Again, I've done another video talking about actually I'm going to take the sheath off, talking about this handle wrap that I have. And it's basically, I see everyone that does not wrap the handle. We're not protecting the handle, we're just adding more comfort and grip to our hand with that beautiful handle wrap. I forgot what it's called. It's like Wild Country Whippet wrap or something. Found it on YouTube, but you can look up any YouTube video on wrapping a knife handle and it'll apply to here. So boom. Almost done, guys. Now here's something that gets used a lot, and it's saved today on multiple outings.
Especially on my Jeep.
So first of all, I got this roll of duct tape, and the way it packs on, let me try to show you guys, the way it packs in this particular pack, you have, for those that know that there's a little side pouch here, and it works great for what I'm about to show y'all. Okay, so a little side pouch here, 3 things that have saved the day and will continue to do so. So zip ties, that's saved the day a couple times here, especially on the old Wingman mobile studio. Roll of duct tape, that just comes in handy.
Yeah, we hit a mud hole and we took off the wiring harness for my tow package on the Jeep. So yeah.
So that bank lines come in handy, and the zip ties have come in handy on that Jeep. Okay, now that was all in the main pouch. Now we still got 3 small pouches on this pack. I'm going to start from the outside. On the outside pouch, this is all my fire kit, basically. Now, even though I got some fire stuff once again on the canteen, this is just expanding on that. The number one thing that I favor to get a fire started, cotton balls. I don't have them treat them in petroleum jelly. I guess I could. What I do have in the other kit, I have a lot of the sap from pine trees that goes in to make your fat wood, and I have that in there. But here we're in an area where it's easy to find. But regardless, cotton balls with a fire steel or a lighter, man, it's on. Simple red fire Bic lighter. Another Wingman gift, big old fat ferro rod. I don't know who makes it, but it's got a belt loop on there, but it stays in the kit. Now we do get into some fat wood right here that was found out here. It's local fat wood. Just have it if I need it. These cubes, I forgot, to be honest with you, I forgot what they are. But they burn for a good long time.
They're the Duraflame, like, fire starters to get the fire logs going. They work really good.
Yeah, that, again, if I need to get an extended flame going to get wood going, and then just to, again, insurance on insurance is kind of the same thing, a very well-treated piece of wood. Another gear gift from Wingman. I don't even know if you remember what it is, buddy, but
that is wax infused piece of wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's already staining the plastic, and just shave off some stuff. So there's I mean, here's
links to that in the video too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good lineup of just that fire kit alone. I mean, if you can't get a fire going with what I have there, then you got no business being out in the bush. So that was that outside pocket, right? Now going into this flap. It's not secure, so I'm not going to put anything too valuable in there. Some coffees, just for, you know, you're out here, a Sharpie in case you need it. This is mostly, I know, knowing first aid. If someone goes down, you know, you could write on their forehead, you know, certain piece of information for paramedics, but you never know. You never know when you need a good writing utensil. I have pen and paper.
Bite, snake bite.
Yep, I got a pen and paper in my pocket. Maybe I'll do an EDC dump on my body because there's some redundancy there. So as opposed to the coffees that I had in the survival kit that I wouldn't touch those unless they were absolutely necessary, these are for the recreational enjoyment. Final pouch, the netting pouch, again, it's secured. It's secured because it's inside and it's got the zipper. This is an augment to the first aid kit that's on my survival canteen. That one, you got your Band-Aids, your meds, your insect bite stuff, your diarrhea stuff. So it's more comprehensive. Here I'm getting into heavy bleeding because we're rocking an axe, we're rocking saws, we got, you know, multiple knives out here. So I do have some tissue. That's just because it fits in there. But for some serious hemorrhaging, this is what is known as an Israeli bandage. So if you're going to get this kind of stuff, make sure you get the training for it. Don't just have it and hope you're going to wing it when you get out there. So know how to use these things, because there is a little bit of knowledge that has to be had and practiced before using that. Just an old school military bandana with safety clip, you know, keep an arm or something, what we call it, secured. So it's good to have that. And going back to the bleeding thing, not the best of tourniquets. It's the TK4. You guys can, you know, look at videos about the TK4, but the reason why I have it in here is because it's small, it's compact. I have more comprehensive and more efficient tourniquets, but that's in other gear bags. But for what this is, if I really needed something, that hatchet went in the wrong direction, then boom, TK4, it's there if I need it. So that is it. That's the gear dump, guys. For it may seem like a lot of stuff, and even I sometimes go like, man, you know, because I put in, I take out, you know, depending on needs and whatnot, and I always tend to rather have and not need than need and not have. But sometimes you got to say, okay, what am I doing? I'm going out to do what? Do I really need to be worried about that? I need to pack some food in there, so maybe I'll pull out the blanket, and maybe I'll pull out the poncho liner if there really is no rain. That way I got more room for food and whatnot. That's what really prompted this. We're going to be out there doing some cooking and just settling down. But then there are certain things that I will not negotiate on, you know, stopping the bleed kind of stuff. And so everyone should be taking the time to cater and think about what it is that's going to be best for them and their situation. It's easy to get caught up with, well, so-and-so says you should always have this and whatnot. I think that's good to have certain basics covered. That's always a good thing. But then there are some things where it's like, do you really need that? You know, I don't have a raft. You know, so you know, use wisdom. But you gain wisdom and knowledge through experience. So hopefully this might have just helped someone out and say, I could have used that, or I didn't think about that. A lot of this is basic. A lot of this is redundancy. And a lot of us, you know, we've seen this information get pumped out. So I'm just, you know, for the fun of it, showing what I got, but maybe it'll help plant the seed on someone that's new out there. And even some of the salty dogs are like, oh, I didn't think about that. It happens to me a lot. Okay, so thank you very much. I appreciate your time and attention, and hopefully this was entertaining and somewhat informative, and we'll see you on the next video.